Welcome to the NXT Podcast, your home for weekly NXT reviews and insight.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
Find all of your NXT news, recaps, and analysis right here. So with that being said, we only have one question for you.
Are you ready?
We thought so. Let's get the show started right now.
All right, everyone. This is Memphis Mark coming to you for an NXT review on 620. And for the next couple of weeks, they'll be having all the titles on the line. So it's during Gold Rush. And so should be pretty good. Next week's a big Mello and Corbin, but this week it is going to be Bron and Seth. So so the show starts off with a good match, man. You've got Tyler Bate and Wes Lee with Mustafa Ali as the referee. And this starts off good. Very technical. Big moves on both sides and everything, but what seems to be a little odd at the start, after a good start, a couple, minute and a half, 2 minutes, it seems that every time those shoulders hit the mat, Mr. Ali is going to count. So it kind of throws everybody off. But it's kind of a slow count, then it's a fast count. He's kind of funny with it, quick count, slow count, so that's where we're going to start off with this. But the match is good. Both of these guys are tearing it up. They take some simple moves and make it, Tyler is kind of unorthodox, kind of a little odd in the way he does some of with his mannerisms, but very, very effective. And Wes Lee, of course, is the champ. He is the North American champ. So, his moves are good. Not gymnastics, more, like I've said before, a wrestler that was a gym or whatever it was, knows a gymnast. But as I said, good match. Ali throws an angle into it with a quick count. And at one point in time, about a little over halfway through the match, they have a elbow collar tie-up kind of move. And, man, they're both ticked. Wes and Tyler are both ticked, and they're just going at it. And it was some good timing, man. It was a good match. Really good way to start it off, too. But it all comes down to towards the end, the ref, Ali, goes out, and he, instead of starting the count because I believe Wes is outside and Tyler's in, it could be the opposite, but he literally goes out and slaps him upside the face and says, "Come on, get back in there and keep fighting." And kind of odd, does it to both, but when he's doing it to Tyler in the ring, Wes comes in with that cardiac kick and wins the match. But kind of stunned at the end where Ali's, hollering about how good of a match it was. And I can see I'm doing something with this, but a good match, good angle. I mean, I can't say anything bad about it, man, good way to start the show off to me. They go into a little GG promo, walking around, talking. Yeah. And Kiana James comes on after that, and she's good with the stick, man. She was talking her talk about GG, and I kind of liked it. She's good in the ring, Kiana is. And so I could see her being someone getting a push at a later date and time. But her mic work has just gotten so much better. And, man, hey, you never can tell. But here we go. After that, they have a It's Chase U, guys. It's Chase University. Yeah, it's a pep rally. And it's Duke Hudson throwing it for Thea Hale. And which Thea will be fighting Tiffany next week because she is the number one contender. And probably one of the funnier things in this one I liked was when Drew and Charlie Dempsey were like, she's out of high school? She's 19? Yeah. It's that look I've seen in the bars back in the day. So, anyway, but yeah, this is a good little angle here. They're going with it. You got Thea running around. You got the crowd going. Then Tiffany's got to come out. Tiffany's got to come out after everybody gets their proper time on the mic. And, you got Chase U in all their clothes, all their matching clothes. And then you got Drew Gulak and Charlie Dempsey over there, totally different. And when Thea thanks everyone, she even thanks them, but, Tiffany comes out, looking great, got the belt, and she's talking trash and, saying pretty much there's no way and that this is going to be, she's losing her belt. That's when Thea decides to, I guess, kind of show that she knows what she's doing because she throws an armbar on Tiffany, and everybody is happy. And, but Thea was not as Ultimate Warrior-like in this one, but yeah, a little bit. But yeah, after this, they go to Schism, and, Mr. Gacy seems a little upset with himself, and Dyad's agreeing, and the calming voice of Ava comes in on this. It's actually not too bad. Ava does good in this. I've made my remarks about Ava, but in this particular promo, at this particular time, they did a good little spot. And then, of course, after that, you're going to have Diamond Mine. And, they're making jokes and they're kind of kidding. They're watching the video and then they bring it up and they make some Ivy and Brutus make fun of Julius. And, it's an okay little spot. But then we've got a match. We've got a 3-way tag team number one contenders match. All right, let's see here. We've got in this the ex-champs. So you got Briggs and Jensen. And you've got Anolfi and Blade and Hank and Tank. And Tank, the more I watched him, he kind of reminded me of a newer, not as good version of Taz. Just anyway, I could see him pushing it that way. Anyway, the match is freaking great. Now, it's led most of the way by Briggs and Jensen. And now Nalfi and Blade, of course, are going to have some high-flying spots and do their stuff. And, man, old Hank and Tank, they had a few moves in there, but, man, Anelfi and Blade, man, they're just high-flying. Anelfi is just, oh, man, he is freaking great. And Briggs and Jensen, man, they were pulling no stops, man. They were tearing it up. So it was a good 3-way match. It was Hank and Tank had a kind of a rough start because they beat the crap out of them at first. But it was staged good. The timing was pretty good. I didn't see any really, just obvious mistakes. And in this match, to be honest, with Hank and Tank in it, you would expect everybody playing down to their level, which, yeah, maybe somewhat. But Briggs and Jensen showed me. They came on. They didn't win the match, but they looked good by losing. Anelfi Anelfi and Blade ends up winning the match. Blade gets the pin. But just a good, solid match, man. Anufi and Blade, I can see them giving them a great push because they're that freaking good. Man, they're up there with the Street Profits as far as flying through the air, but they both can fly through the air. That was a good match. I was surprised. So far in this show, we are coming out pretty freaking good. So good writing so far, and it is what it is, man. We have got a good show on us. They do a Gallus promo, and with Garza and Roberto, and I can see them setting that up. And you've got Eddie Thorpe, apparently DJ Thorpe. But Eddie Thorpe is out there practicing his stuff, and Kemp comes out and lets him know what kind of match he wants to have. He wants to bring back the old underground match. No ropes. I'm not really specific on all the rules, but I've seen them. And we'll see how this plays out. I can see Kemp being good with his background, but man, Eddie Thorpe, every time I see him, the modern day Wahoo McDaniel, the modern day Chief Strongbow, man, this kid's good, man, or this young man's good. So I can definitely see some stuff with him in the future for sure. And then they have a little thing with Perez and Davenport. They have a little, right after that interview, they have a little promo, and, it's not really a promo. Somebody hears some pipes falling or something, and Davenport got laid out by Roxanne. Man, they had, I haven't seen these. But they started having tonight, I guess, or at least in my view, the NXT apparel commercials. So hey, maybe they've got a little request, and they're pushing it more. So I thought that was good. They go from there. You got Seth in the locker room, and Nathan comes up with that freaking Heritage Cup. They got to carry it everywhere. It's like, it reminds me of like that air freshener in people's rearview mirrors. It's everywhere. But they have a good little talk. And then Mello and Trick come in and say hi, so, and then of course it sets Seth up to be able to say that, hey, look, he don't miss. So yeah, good little spot there. With them two, and then this match coming up. We got Cora Jade and Dana Brooke. And Cora Jade is on the rise. She just needs ring time, and I guess they're trying to rebrand Miss Brooke. But I don't know. But anyway, they're trying. The match was okay. Dana gets a few offensive moves, and getting over on Cora at the start. And then, of course, how do you change it up when you've got a young guy or a young girl in there? You throw them to the outside. When they try to come back in, you jump them. That's what this was. Little match. And then Dana does a couple of moves, and bam, her knee goes out. Tries to make a move after that. Knee won't let her. The docs and trainers come in, and this happens a lot more. I guess it's the way it is now. Never happened back in those days. My knee hurts, really, and the guy just beat on it. But yeah, they bring the trainers out and everything, and then they really let Cora just go to town with trash talking. I mean, she was, you're faking, and just giving her, and this all came after a good chop block to the knee and everything, but It was really, they cart her out on the stretcher, and at one point in time, though, when Dana did have the advantage earlier, the crowd actually booed her. So they were for Cora Jade, I guess the NXT faithful, maybe, I'm not sure, but look, man, she just trash talks her all the way down the aisle as they're stretching her back, and then Dana jumps off the stretcher, gets back in. The match suddenly continues, and yeah, after a chop block there, and then a single leg crab, and it was about over. It was about over. The referee stopped it. If this might end up being the worst match, and if it was, it's better than a lot of the good matches I've seen on some of the broadcasts. So, the ladies put on a pretty good show. A C+. I'll give it that. But you have a little spot now with Von Wagner and Mr. Stone, and they go into the picture finally. And it is from a childhood disease that caused the brain swelling, and they had to go in and actually do surgery as a 15-month-old. And the pictures and everything, and they didn't overdo it. They gave a little story, gave a little info, and then they left us kind of wanting a little more, a little more information. And even Mr. Wagner goes, hey, that's enough for this, session, I guess you would say. And then, it's kind of good. It was kind of, I like the way it was done. So no complaints here. But then, then we have a Gabe Stevenson sighting. He comes out of nowhere and comes and tells Eddie Thorpe that, hey, if anybody knows Damon Kemp, it's me. I'll help you train. So are we going to have a Kemp-Stevenson tag team coming up? Are we going to have that match, Stevenson and Kemp, later on? I don't know. But Gabe is back on NXT here, is on NXT. So, we'll have to see where that goes. Then they go to Mello and Corbin in the ring. And you usually know how this is going to end, and I'll tell you on the front end, it doesn't end that way. This is just a battle of the stick. It is a challenge. They both kind of going, and it's scripted to some extent, to most extent, but let's see. I mean, they're talking about it 26. Corbin was cut from Arizona, and Mello's a champ. It's, then, Corbin wants to talk about, his house and everything. But man, when they were standing up in the ring, the size difference, Mello's going to have to be on his A plus game. Because the size difference is a lot, and Corbin can work. And I know they had their hands tied on this or whatever, but I thought they did good. At one time Mello said that I want to show you what we done since you've been gone, talking about NXT. We changed the windows, got new drapes, had to put a new roof on it because I kept tearing it off. And so, I mean, it's a good little deal, but Corbin, Corbin comes out and says, you know what, today was a good day. And I don't know if he was quoting my man, but if he was, and he kind of did his own little mic drop. No, he kind of threw the mic at him, or dropped it at him or whatever, because he's so much taller. But, good little promo. This is all stuff I'm saying, hey, go back and check it out. And then you got some more of this damn cup, this Heritage Cup. Dragon Lee and Nathan Frazier, of course, with the cup. And then you got Froyce and Leon, the ladies there, and he's thanking everyone. And he's talking about his time with speaking with Seth, and he should thank the people that helped him get to where he's at. So he's going to give Dragon Lee the first shot at that big that big old box trophy thing they carry around, and Dragon Lee's happy. Okay, so it is what it is. All right, they're keeping the storyline up. And then out of nowhere, Gallus earlier had said, hey, look, they're going to the pub, they're going out. And then they show Joe Coffey on the phone trying to understand a call he's getting. And out of nowhere, you've got a car that wheels up, a door opens up, hits him, and he's thrown into the trunk. And it's Stax. So Stax is on the offense. And he is heading after the guys that put the boss in the slammer, in the clink. It wasn't done bad either. I mean, the whole show. I mean, hey. But then you've got a ladies tag team. You got the Feroz and Miss Leon against the crew, the clique, the gang. It's Miss Jackson and Lash Legend, and of course Mensa and Noam Dar. And this match is pretty good. It is. I tell you what, Miss Jackson and Miss Legend actually surprised me. The tag team, the tag, the timing and everything. I mean, I expected not that much, to tell you the truth, but they both sold. Feroz had a couple moves off the top rope. Leon, a couple moves, and they're throwing Lash, and Miss Lash is if I remember right, is a former WNBA player, so she's not short, not small, and they were making her work. So, and at one time the ladies jump off the apron and Mensa catches, and he's like, I don't want that one. Then the other lady, Miss Leon, I believe it was, flies off and catches Mensa, and then she comes back into the ring, and yep, she catches a big boot from Lash Legend, and a big pump kick, and they win. Jackson and Lash win the match. Lopez and I can't think of the other lady, they came out and made a little appearance looking very nice. So I guess they're trying to put themselves in that tag team talk, so but then we get ready. They go through. Now next week on Gold Rush, they're going to have some great matches too. So they go through all the matches like they do each week, but this week it's actually worth listening to. But it is all leading up to Bron, and to quote Booker T, no bread, no water, just meat. Badass Bron against Seth freaking Rollins. And look, you're looking at the Bron, the future, and you're looking at the now and Seth. So, and Seth's going to come out with his ribs all taped up. Might as well just have a big old target on it. And, of course, the music. And the place was just loud. And they're even hollering, welcome home. So, to Seth. So, it was a really electric start to the match, and Seth comes out strong. They're going through the feeling out period, but this is a world title match. So, Bron, takes it on the chin at first, but then it's the inevitable. It is. When you have a big target on your chest like that, that means, hey, let's use all the typical moves that you would use, which makes sense. You've got to, get them on the outside, slam them into the apron, take your shoulder and slam them in. That's a good sell. A bear hug, good sell. These are all the typical moves. And, of course, they go through the gauntlet. They go through all of them, and, they both look good. Bron, though, he was good in this match all the way through, but this, to me, was the best I've ever seen him sell And maybe he hasn't had to as much. Maybe that's it. I'm just saying that he sold. They had some camera angles that were kind of close on him. Not overselling. Not underselling. I mean, like a pro. And, man, of course, he comes out looking like his uncle. Now, Scott Steiner, of course, is the freak. And there'll never be another Scott Steiner. The guy looked like back in the old days, we had Ivan Putski, and he was the Polish Hammer, but he was humongous. Not a big guy, but humongous, built. And Scott Steiner, when I knew Scott when he was younger, he was big. Now he's big, good-looking guy back then before the blonde hair and everything, but he transformed himself. As he got older and couldn't do some of the moves that he did, he transformed himself into Big Papa Pump, and the rest is history. But Bron takes a chapter out of his book, or a page out of his book. He looks like a tied up like a young Steiner, Rick Steiner, but he does the Scott, the Scott Steiner. Well, he looks like a young Scott Steiner, excuse me, but he does his uncle's push-ups, instead of pinning him, he's going to do the push-ups and show that he is in that much control. And, and I believe this is like both NXT champs. I believe Seth may have been the first and ever. So this match is a barn burner. But you've got to include, if you're going to go some of these old great, just typical good wrestling moves, which is great. I'm not saying, when I say typical, I'm not saying bad, but you got to do some other old school stuff. You gotta bring in the announcers table. Okay, so they bring in the announcers table. Seth clears it off. They break the table down. It collapses perfect. So a great look. I did think they were up kind of quick back in the ring. Bron gets taken through the table, and in like the go-to commercial, and like not even the first commercial's over, and they're both slamming each other in the ring. So, maybe a little quick, but maybe not. There was Seth. Bron goes to do a leapfrog over Seth, and Seth catches Bron in midair and takes him for the belt buckle or the whatever they call that, and he slams him into the turnbuckle, and that looked great. And then Steiner, Bron goes through all of his, he goes through the power slam, looks freaking awesome. Does the spear at one time, just great. Everything looks good, but it comes down to no 3 count, and Seth gets a chance and gets not 1 stomp, but 2 stomps to take out old badass Bron. And, so Seth wins the match, and this is about the end of the show, so I guess wait a minute. You got to have Finn Balor. You got to have Finn jumping, because ain't nobody winning this title until Money in the Bank. And Finn comes out, beats the crap out of him, gets the chair quick, which the chair was placed in the exact spot. So he hits Seth with the chair, looks good, getting ready to come off the top rope and do some real damage, and then Trick and Mello show up to save the day. Hey, this was a pretty good show. I'm going to rate it an A-. That's pretty high rating for me. It was a good show. The one ladies match may have been the worst, and it was still good. So this is go back and watch rated. Go back and check it out. Guys, it was enjoyable, and I'm very much looking forward to next week also. So no let down on this one. They're going to have a big battle in front of them to top this week's Gold Rush. So anyway, guys, this is Memphis Mark, and you know what? Rescue if you can. Spay and neuter. But man, you know what? This is Memphis Mark, and I'm out.
Thanks for listening to the WWE Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you don't miss a show, or head to WWEpodcast.com. And for all of these shows ad-free, head over to patreon.com/WWE Podcast. Until then, we'll see you next time.